16P of Matthew Holt. Checkered flag coming out.
Sprint car race is just that. It's a sprint. It's not NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar. We're going to go out and we're going to run for hours. The races are usually 20 to maybe 40 laps if it's a more prestigious or higher paying race, but a regular race night is 20 laps. They'll drop the green flag and we'll go at each other for 20 laps, and wherever we finish at 20 laps, that's where it is. So it's a dogfight. There's no sitting back and hanging around, and if you're gonna win, you're gonna have to mash the gas. We've had some seasons where we've had really good consistent nights, finishing in the top 5, top 10, and then some seasons like last season, it's like we couldn't, it didn't seem to matter what we did. Something broke, got taken out. I did something stupid and flipped the car. I've never had a season that was that bad. Like, we've usually had a bad night and then we recover and we do well. But last year was challenging.
Nothing like driving a sprint car. I mean, zipping in and out, sliding around, getting with it.
Those are the gears you want to have, or you have any other ones?
Yeah, I'm not messing with gears tonight. That'll be close.
Okay. You never know. Just have to go in here and make sure he had put everything in here. Even if he tells me he did it, I still ask him again. Because I'm like, did you actually do that or not? Fuel, brakes, cleaner, his transponder, because we've forgotten that before. If you forget that, then they don't let you race. They get really mad at you. Been many a times why I have to do this because we've left stuff. And then we get mad. Why did you leave that? It's very hard and difficult. You gotta put in a lot of substance to it. It's a lot of work. You got a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It's a lot of dedication. And they don't get paid a lot to do it. They put more money in than they get back. So they do it because of the passion of what they have for the sport, not what they can get. So I think that's what I would like for people to know.
I don't remember not going to races. Drag racing, air shows, dirt track races, monster truck shows. If there was an engine with something in town, we were going to it. When I was younger, the risk wasn't there. After some pretty heavy crashes now, the risk is I kind of think about things a little bit. But once I get to the track and I get in uniform, I don't think about that anymore. You know what I mean? I just you can't. If you're going to think about it, you're not going to go fast.
You always have that thought that he could get hurt. It's always there. He flipped one at the Devil's Bowl, his steering locked up on it. And he ran into a wall, it totaled frame out. But that's about the worst flip he's ever had. The rest of them were just tumbled on the track a couple of times. You're going to flip one, no matter what, you're going to flip it. Whether it's by yourself or with somebody, you never know.
It was like a few years ago, Devil's Bowl actually really scared me. So he was driving and his power steering went out and he slammed into a concrete wall and his car flipped and caught on fire. And it looked like a big fire to me. Matt would say it was a baby fire, but so I'm on the other side. They always tell you, like, don't go onto the track, like you can't do anything, which I'm still avid about that because I don't want to impede someone from getting them out. But I was like, ran from the thing, and then I'm like, are you okay? And his car's flipped over. I mean, because it just gave out. And then it's on fire, and he's handing me his gloves and everything. I'm like, are you okay? I need you to speak to me. And he's like, I'm good. That's the worst one. I mean, typically it's someone that hits him and then he just gets mad about it. But that's the worst one because it's car was on fire.
I didn't even know it was on fire. I didn't know. I just knew that the power steering failed. And when you're doing so, when it comes to speeds at Devil's Bowl, that's a half-mile track, so that's a big track. So we were probably hitting 130 that night in the straightaways. A lot of the speed depends on track conditions. When the track is good and tacky, in these cars, we could hit 125, 130 in the straightaways. Power steering goes out at that speed. It's like trying to turn a school bus at 80 miles an hour with no power steering. I mean, there's nothing you could do because it would work. I got down to the corner and we were wide open and just, there was nothing. And it off and hit the thing. And then I realized I was hung up on my side and on the wall. And I thought, well, there was no way. There was a concrete barrier right here. And I was like, I'm probably going to do more damage if I try to get out this way versus if I just wait here. I was like, they got good fire trucks. So I just waited. I didn't even know there was a fire until afterward. They told me. Well, I didn't know. I didn't see it.
Every night, is always a risk with racing, but we always want to have a good night. But on the nights we have a bad night, sure, they're hard, they sting, but we're always learning. And so, whether it's dead last or somewhere kind of in the middle, it's always like, hey, what did we do well? Like, what changes did we make to the car that seemed to be in the right direction? But also, what was holding us back from getting towards like the top 5, top 10, And every time we learn that much more, with Matt's driving ability, how the car is, maintenance of the car, like, hey, did we miss something, or like pre-race checklist that, kind of cost us at the race. Always learning, and then always, seeing what everyone else is doing. How are other people attacking the track, based on the track conditions, do we need to tighten up the car and loosen it, what kind of areas are we playing in? And so it's always learning. And so, we always strive to win. And even on the nights that we do well, we learn, it's like, hey, we did this really well, and it played out well for us. And so, okay, let's keep doing that.
A half turn on the weight jacker will, if it's wrong, turn it the wrong way, it'll put you out of the ballpark. It is. Might have to change gears, might have to change the peel on the engine. If the thing is too rich or too lean, change the weight on the car. It's just a guessing game. Raise the wing where it gets a stiffer, more air to the wing, or lower it down. You just got to guess. You got to think things through. Think them through, and then to deal with that, what you decide, rather than getting mad and throwing in the towel. You got to just deal with that part of it.
Hi, Randy.
The pain I went through, dang, I tell you what.
He's younger, let him do it.
Yeah, but he couldn't do it all. I drove a truck with a guy that was good friends of a guy that raced. And he got me to go with him to the track. And that's my first race. I liked it as soon as I saw it. I had a business, trucking business. Either I was going to have to quit that or either go racing full time. And it wasn't organized like it is today. That was in probably about 75, I think. Sometime along in there, 76. That's when I gave it up, Now the sprint cars, back when I was raced them, they kill 1 or 2 people every week during the summer, all over the country. They were dangerous cars. Always went about every weekend. I carried him to the track when I'd go when he was a little bitty, just out of diapers. And ever since, he always wanted to drive a sprint car. Ever since he could talk really sprint cars on, the thing that mattered to him. Nothing else mattered at all.
Once he was like 11 or 12, he started with the go-karts, and then he was racing stock car. And then he was racing the stock car. I was like right before I met him, so he started racing the sprint car probably in 2013. Year before I met him, and he's supposed to go through those modifieds, and he just said, I'm going to rip it and get a sprint car. So he didn't race for a year. He saved up. He paid cash for his sprint car, and he's been racing it for 12 years. So he really likes it. I was dating Matt. I was like, what do you do for fun? He was like, racing. I was like, I don't know what that is. I only know about the NASCAR that drives around the circles. He's like, oh no, like, wait, we drive dirt. So I came over here and I met his parents, and actually the very first thing I did as an address, when I sat in his car, and his mom was like, whoa. Learned a lot of stuff. I don't know how to work on cars, but I found myself changing bird cages and doing wings, and greasing up tires, oiling his thing. We do a lot of that together.
I'm super lucky and grateful that she wanted to be involved with it from when we started dating. That's why I wanted her to, like, I've been teaching her things, and I've seen over the years, because I've been with it, you know, if you don't get your significant other involved, it can cause friction. So she's been a huge help for us and keeping us motivated, keeping me from selling everything when I'm frustrated, like last year.
Laura's incredibly supportive of everything Matt does, and Matt's incredibly supportive of everything Laura does. You know, they might not enjoy it as much as the other person does, but they love the other person so much that it doesn't matter if whether they like it or not. They love that person, and so they're doing it to love, to serve that person.
I've been close. I won in the go-karts. I won in the mini stock car, and I've been so close on this so many times. But I mean, when you jump up to this level, everybody is so competitive, and it's just, you're dealing with guys that have been racing these cars for 25 years, and they know way more tricks than you know. I've been right there within a couple of laps several times, and just either I messed up in lap traffic or the other guy just found a better groove. So, but I know we'll get there. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can go shoot some hoops. You can get better at your game as you go along during the winter and all this. With this, you can rent this track out. I think it's $1,500 for an afternoon, or you know, you're waiting around all winter. Been waiting around. We barely got a half a race in. Got rained out. We didn't even get to the feature a couple weeks ago. Another rain out, and then you show up and there's like 25, 30 cars here, and it's like, go. No warm-ups, no stretching. You can run iRacing, and I've done that, and that is helpful. But it's not the same consequences, you know what I mean? Hitting escape and going to a new race is not the same as I'm upside down and you got to put it back together. It kind of took me a few laps to get back into my groove, and then I was like, I got my groove back. Now we've made our money for the night.
You always have luck but to hit something consistently, it's skill. That's a tough goal. That's skill. That's man.
I hope someone sees oh, I should take my kid there to watch that. That's local. A lot of people don't really know it's family oriented. And if you go to the track, you'll see a lot of families and kids together because it's just something that they do.
Come out, come see us, come hang out with us at the track, come to the pits, see what it's all about. And the second thing is, if you have an interest in racing and you want to do it, there's a way to do it. You don't have to have a rich daddy to go racing. You know what I mean? If you're willing to put in the time and the effort, we build our own engines, and You see the machine shop equipment over here. We build a lot of our parts and repair a lot of our parts, and we repair the chassis. You know, it's yes, it's an expensive sport. It's not basketball, but if you have a desire to do it and you're willing to put in the work and the sweat, you can go racing and have a good time. And that's the thing. We have a great time. I wouldn't trade days I've spent working on cars with my dad for anything.